all set up. Now nice and mic. Yeah, Luke Smith over this week posted a two-part of his director's cut going about the outlining plans what's going to happen in Destiny 2 going forward with Shadowkeep and all this sorts of interesting outlining things. He said in the previous part, this is the second part in which he outlines the continuation of the other part. He goes on and said, "Hi everyone, this is Director's Cut Part 2, and now mega long update that the last 6 months should say this is Director's Cut Part 2, and now mega long update looking at the last 6 months of Destiny 2 and looking ahead to Shadowkeep. I may be a bit beyond. If you missed part 1 and have an afternoon to yourself, go check it out." As the first section grew in length, I figured this section would be the last one, but at some point of Avengers wasn't going to be split into two Infinity War and Endgame either, so there will be another part. I Love You 3000. Looking ahead to Shadowkeep this fall is a necessary first step in turning Destiny 2 into the game we wanted it to be. It has been a busy year, so let's recap. We assumed the publishing control of Destiny and wanted to get something new into your hands as quickly as possible. Shadowkeep. We paired it with a 3 entry point in New Light to welcome new Guardians into the fold. We wanted to bring Destiny 2 to new platforms to keep heading toward the you can play Destiny anywhere dream. Steam and Google Stadia, which Google Stadia will come later this year, which is going to come packaged with Destiny 2 and etc. And yeah, it will be part of the cross save. As you can see, my video gone about the explanation what cross save does. It'll be on this channel, and please check it out. Continue. We're taking the initial steps towards building Destiny as a single evolving world, and we're doing all of this while cranking on a bunch of the systems changes we talked about, and we'll continue to talk about the heading into Shadowkeep. And here's where we going this fall. The care and feeding of RPG. Add depth, improved customization. We want to give people who love the RPG aspect of Destiny, like many of us, more stats and depth on character sheet to sink their teeth into. We want to give players more agency over how they look, and we also want armor to have that deep pursuit players love about Destiny, which brings the victory of finding the perfect role. Let's talk about Armor Part 1's mod stats and trade-offs. In order to allow players to independently pursue gameplay mods and further customization. Their Guardian fashion, a lot of work has been done to update the armor for this fall. We refactored a number of the stats in the game. We've overhauled the UI and we've begun to separate capabilities from aesthetics. Then it takes an intermission. Here comes the most bit that's been overarching about the whole Eververse issue. I know there's quite a lot of people that upset within the Destiny community about the whole handling of the Eververse store, and by rightfully so. And the assured this. Before I go on, I want to interject. It seems like some comments from part 1 around microtransaction MTX are being misconstrued. Maybe I wasn't clear enough. Maybe it felt too ambiguous. Let me try to clear this up before we go into the army. Okay. Destiny has and will continue to have weapons, armor, ghost ships, sparrows, and shaders that you can earn from activities to prove to the people looking at your character that you did the thing, whatever that thing is. I beat the raid a bunch. I've earned Iron Banner gear. I've played a ton of Crucible. I want to gather the rain in my shoulder pads so I can play Gambit a ton. I made a sweet set of Astro's Shaman gear at the room table. I don't know what that's a reference to. Okay. I farmed Dash Strike for the Mindbender role that makes people rage, etc. Etc. is one word, Luke. You don't have to abbreviate it. I'll just shorten it to ET. People knows it's short for etc. You don't have to split it et then etc. It's all one word. I digress. Let's continue. Let me be crystal clear, that isn't changing. What we are doing with the new armor systems is saying find the perks you want, find the armor you want from the mega list of currently available Destiny 2 armor, and pursue that armor to get the elements / stats you want and combine them to make your Guardian. Destiny also has an MTX store, short for microtransactions, that houses things like sparrows, ships, emotes, ghost holograms, weapons, and universal ornaments. There are items in the store that rotate that can be purchased with silver or bright dust. It works the same way as the Eververse store in Destiny 1. Where you could buy items for one currency or another currency. What you unlock is through via something like the Treasure of Ages. That was the treasure box you can earn when you're doing objectives through your weekly activities. And the more you get, the more you earn, and that's, for instance, is heroic stories, heroic strikes, and the raid challenges, and the crucible challenges. You, no matter what activity you did, you got these treasure of the ages, which guarantees you armor sets like the Taken, which is dope. I got the full set of the Taken armor, which came equipped with the Taken Shiver, which you can do all sorts of weird stuff to it, and etc. Yeah, my take about this whole issue about the Eververse star in Destiny 1, yeah, people had it. Yeah, it was kind of controversial, to the contrary, during through the festival of the Lost. It became a continuous meme within the Destiny community with the festival of the Cost, and etc, etc, etc. That's been becoming a common meme. And likewise with the Dawning. Did they do a trailers for the Dawning, which showed you the Eververse Star, which I think Bungie had to change it at the last minute to avoid any backlash? Yeah, I know there was the controversies with the Eververse Star in Destiny 2 with the Rise of Iron motif emote, and the and the Christmas giving one, and etc. Yeah, I know that people can get the knickers in a twist, pardon my French, and get all emotional, but yeah, as with these video game developers always make a stance saying they're not gonna go anywhere. Soon they're gonna look into monetize how the provision and productivity and the monetization, and how the microtransactions star works. And for instance, Anthem, Matt Dura and Casey Hudson did say since 2017 that the aesthetics of the gear in the store upon launch of Anthem, it will be cosmetic only. I know there's going to be people that's going to be pissing mad and angry about that. I get it. I know there's quite a lot of videos about it's all being predatory and all that lot, blah blah blah. It's all gonna entice gambling habits, yada yada yada. Yeah, this is where it becomes a whole issue and etc. Where they say it's gonna be cosmetic, blah 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 blah. Yeah, it all stems back to the Atama store in Fallout 76, which has been mad with so much controversy. It's unbelievable. We're not going to go into that rabbit hole and to dig all that up. I think Bethesda had that bashed to the nether regions and whatsoever. They continuously make a firm stance that you can still earn the cosmetics and that through the bright engrams at the moment we do for reaching certain activities. So then you go to the Eververse star and you get lucky. It is once again it's all random. Some may get lucky and some may not, and etc. I get it that some people would like to see these ghost ships of sparrows, even ships of sparrows, to be tied to Amanda Holiday, and etc. etc. Yeah, I get the whole confliction argument with what Luke Smith underlined in this director's cut here. It's going to be a controversial comment to say the least. After when he highlighted that, then he goes back on topic. Time it in back to armor. We started out by looking at what period in Destiny history was a good starting place for evolving the stat game. We felt like it was the Taken King / the Rise of Iron era, which was the vast improvements to the grind and that, which in Taken King was introducing things like strike unique rewards and that, and they also included the King's Fall raid, which was widely loved and received within the Destiny community. And how many people spent ages beating that raid. And likewise with the Wrath of the Machine raid with the Rise of Iron, another well received raid, which had the hidden quest where you go finding these terminals. You can unlock their Outbreak Prime, which is now their Outbreak Perfected. I don't know why they called it that. It's totally ridiculous. Yeah, it did bring so much improvements to the game, both the Taken King and the Rise of Iron. Yeah, it was leaps and bounds of the Dark Below and the House of Wolves, which the House of Wolves had a pseudo hold mode called the Prison of Elders, which you go through 4 levels, then you get to the boss. Should say you get for so many rounds till you get to the boss room. You fight the boss and you go to this hole in the ground, and you go into the chest room and open up the 3 chests, the 1 big one or 2 small ones, which you can get all the awesome goodness of the loot. To say it could have been a lot improved at the time, but it was a great fun challenge. But to many some hardcore Destiny players and streamers, they always favoured the raids over than the Prison of Elders and the Archon's Forge, because of how it was done in execution and design and etc., which people would have loved being doing in Destiny 1, and they want to have that more continuity in Destiny 2 going forward. And he continues, there was a deep dive stream about this topic on August the 14th, but let's recap of the high level points. Armor now has an energy meter ranging from 1 to 10. You can use materials currency to level up the energy value on a given piece of armor. Mods have both an energy cost and an elemental affinity. In order for a mod to be equipped, your armor needs to have rolled the correct element and have enough energy available. Example, hand cannon reloader costs 3 void energy to equip, so your armor must have a rolled void and have the 3 energy available in order to use it. Fundamentally, this means we have an additional vectors for tuning things like mods. We could tune the effect how much speed and does the reload effect add. We could tune the cost, how expensive is this mod to socket. We could add mods to the pool for different affinity, etc. Once again, it's all in one word. When you acquire a mod from the game, it's like getting a perk that you could put on armor. So once you found the enhanced hand cannon reloader from Pinnacle Activities, enhanced perks will come only from Pinnacle Activities. You will be able to socket that mod into new armor that meets its criteria. The mod is not consumed and must be socketed in and out at a small cost. Here are the elements of the armor randomly. Elemental affinity rolls between solar arc and void. Armor's starting energy value can roll randomly as well. They can be all leveled to 10. The stats all roll random values: intellect, discipline, strength, mobility, resilience and recovery. Like in the Taken King stats, we'll have breakpoints that decreases their cooldowns. Yes, your Sparrow now shows up on the character sheet. Yeah, like it does. Yeah, in the style of promotional materials from Knight Rider, with David Hasselhoff was standing at the kit car, and likewise with other promotional materials for shows like Street Hawk and all sorts of that. Also bears that homage and aesthetic. Yeah, but it's great to addition, but I think it doesn't look great with the background, which I find it totally off-putting. If they had something like the ADZ background, or Nessa's background, or the IO background, for instance, yeah, to sprucing it up instead of having this tacky greyish background, yeah, then it would have standed out well. Then many people will be sold on that idea. Begin math time. Yes, yeah. Today in Destiny 2, the base recharge rates to convert the stats value of 30 in the new system. Getting to 30 is too difficult, though. Of course, some people, but certainly not you, will ride the RNG roller coaster to get to the stat they really want to 30. By choosing a good roll stat, you can achieve the fast recharge rates available in the game today without needing to use mods. It is totally possible to put together a 100 intellect build. 100 is the cap without sucking a single mod. Some of the new mods will provide to 10 plus 10 to a given stat to help you show up stats you care about. But the specialization will come with a price because you've specialized in intellect. You may be making effort trade-offs for other stats. Example: grenades combat slower or something. It really depends on your stat rolls. But if your grenades will combat slower, then maybe the demolitionist perk that you've been dismantling. I know demolitionist is actually pretty good in non-primary weapons would start to look appealing. In math, we've made a bunch of armor in Destiny, and we don't want to leave behind any of the armor that players currently pursue. So we've updated every new drop in the game to integrate and leverage the new system. This means if you want to go back and get the small Titan shoulder pads from Sloan on IO, you can go chase a roll of them that uses the new system. A number of the current mods will not work in the new armor that's dropping this fall, but those mods aren't being depreciated at this time. For example, your super mods on your current armor will still work, but super mods cannot be socketed into the new armor. You can socket your armor with intellect mods instead though. Yeah, this was a pretty concerning issue about this whole new armor system was gonna that comes with Shadowkeep. The concerning issue within the community. They said, what happens is if I spent all the time and urgency of grinding in the armor, and I can't take it forward because I will have to chase up new armor, etc, 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 because of the whole issue what's been going on in the past. Every time there's a new DLC, all the armor and weapon sets will end up being retired, so you have to go chase out the new gear. And people spent ages of grinding. For instance, they grinded the Vault Glass raid hundreds of times to get the full Vault Glass set. And when the new DLC comes out, for instance, the Taken King or the Rise of Iron, those armor sets would have been totally useless because of the chasing the new armor sets. But however, towards the end of Destiny 1, they come up with the Age of Triumph, which they updated all the old raids like Crota's End, Vault of Glass, and King's Fall, and the Wrath of the Machine. And they came with those gloves and that which you can make your armor set out great, and people felt joy of going after them because they don't want to keep those locked up in the vault and to be done with. So yeah, there's gonna be a set kind of changes and improvements, but I'm not so sure if it's going to be in the grand scheme of things. Who knows? People have to wait until October the 1st comes Shadowkeep. Then it goes on the part 2 of this lengthy director's cut, amplifying depth and choice via the new stats system. Ushers in some changes to armor. We converted all current Destiny armor to to use the stats, so cooldown durations will charge as we migrate to the new system. You will be able to see the cooldown timers of your legacy armor when Shadowkeep patches go live. Here's what we don't want to happen. You feeling like the game is depreciated my old armor and perks. That time I spent playing Forsaken and its annual pass content was a waste. Since all the perks on the armor got turned off while Bungie forcibly migrated to this new system. Here's how we hope this works. If you're a pretty hardcore player or lucky and have a set of armor today with perfect for you perks, like a fully loaded enhanced gun, you like this set of perks, I think you gonna to keep using them for a while. I certainly expect the world first raid teams are going to go in with Forsaken era gear that they've infused throughout their Shadowkeep power progression. Yeah, as I gleaned upon that issue. As the weeks go by and as the players approach the Shadowkeep power cap and start finding mods with enhanced perks, we think that's when our most invested progression chasing players will start to move over. Players can totally mix and match between new armor and the armor they have today as well. For the players without perfectly rolled gear, we think the transition to the new armor system is one they make it pretty quickly in our long form play setting. Our internal teams, not the Velveeta, these are the other internal players and play testers. Sidebar, I'm really disappointed I missed out on the craftiest opportunity part 1. God, good catch, Freddy. Who got whiff of that? Yeah, have found that they've used their current armor on their main Guardian, but rapidly switched to armor 2.0 on their less played alts. Okay. Remember LiveJournal? Yeah, it's a site. Let's not beat around the bush, shall we? Let's do it. With how I play, it's a crude mix of fashion, function, and economic efficiency. I rarely invest the resources in an item unit. It's an item I know I want to use. I don't want to infuse it very often unless I need a specific /role for an activity. I do not have a favorite class. I play all three. I tend to rotate them based on what is most effective or needed for group play in a given moment. I personally love it when the game gets hard and I feel as if we would benefit from more challenge. I really like how contest mode enforced an action skill component on world's first attempts. I totally have my favorite weapon archetypes, which I'll spare you, and I get really frustrated as a player when there is an archetype I feel like I absolutely have to use all three of them, or have to use all the time, excuse me, because it is far away from the most efficient thing. This is because I do, when playing content matters, have to be using the most efficient thing. This creates some interesting decisions with the team at work when they create something that's super fun but isn't actually efficient to use. I will totally mess around and get a triple double in patrol and with the weird weapon, but the weird stuff isn't getting used in the Crown of Sorrows group early in the season. Even then, I want to get through the content as quickly as I can. My characters are generally look hideous. We all know that feeling very well. So can I like all your teammates who are running around like royalty, and you're gonna be the only person that's gonna go around the tower looking like a complete schlemiel. I get that feeling totally well. yeah, yeah. On the climb, and then I start to make them look good again once I get to the end game. And since I'm colorblind, yeah, there's a common issue with most people, that people can't tell between one color from another. Yeah, I find it very frustrating. I play my games with colorblind filters because it helps me out a lot. My friends think my characters look pretty hideous in the game too. I think for me, I shelve my nicely rolled items, delete everything that I wouldn't wear, raiding, and start using new equipment while I power up and find some looks I like, and then it's time to go on Jackie Quest. I'll refuse up put my rolled welding equipment. Oh, look here. You're such joy, aren't you? Yeah, end live journal post. Thank God for that, because that did not make any sense. It was all confusing, was all over the place. Yeah, it could have been left out. If he wants to do these director's cut, he should make an extended version and an edit version for people to read through and to digest. Because the thing is with these director's cut from these devs, they got way too much detail, and it's going to be way too much of to unpack and to digest. Yeah, it could do going into smaller parts, then do a extended one, then it would make sense. But all this live journal stuff could have done without. So that's what slips this whole director's thing out. It's like we're reading through a £100, not £100, 100-page script where you go through yeah, it's going to be so much to digest, to scene by scene, word for word. This is going to be a time consuming. Not everybody's going to have time to digest it. It's like the 10-page EULA you see at the beginning of every new account that's starting up on that game. But many people don't sign that. People sign the EULA, but they don't read the EULA because it's going to take time and it's going to be too long and to digest. But this is a huge problem here. Yeah, but you can go through all night long. Yeah, but at some point, he made like he said, people don't want to feel left out on all the armor that they earned, and they don't want to make the same mistake in early days of Destiny 1. They want to make them to be meaningful in one way or another, and etc. etc. Yeah, and then he goes the pursuit of power. Yeah, I can read some bullet points out, but yeah, but it's going to be dragging way too long. You can read it for yourself. Yeah, the pursuit of power increases the player agency. We like to act chasing power and stats for your build to be something you have a bit more agency over, not a full-blown play wherever you want all the time. Because that means people will just find the most efficient thing rather than dipping their toes into a bunch of different activities, but certainly less restrictive than it has been in the past. We've also had the long-standing challenge in Destiny making XP matter, and that feels like a real growth opportunity for us to dig into something we've wanted to look for a while. This section discusses power and the changes to its fall. Part 1. Powerful resources, primes, and the world. Like I mentioned in Part 1, the number of powerful resources in Destiny 2 ballooned during the annual pass. We're curating down the resources in Shadowkeep. Our target is to get the number of powerful resources closer to the Forsaken launch levels. In Forsaken, as you overleveled in an activity, meaning your power gets higher than the activity rewards would become less valuable. The inverse was also true for being underleveled. In Shadowkeep, we've changed that. Instead, the system will advertise the constant expected powerful reward regardless of your power related to. Over the years, we've come to discuss several parts of Destiny terms of short, medium, and long-term goals. In the simplest of times, short-term goals that can be completed in a night or a week. Medium-term goals can take several weeks, and long-term goals can take anywhere from a season to several seasons. For some folks like me, getting good at a part of the game may take a lifetime. That's a personal mastery goal. I don't know how about that, Luke. That's a far bit of stretch. We think that reaching max power can be a medium-term goal. For power progression, focusing players for those players who we hope to pursue of stats, and someday trying out new builds is their long-term goal. I say someday because while we're taking our first steps in build crafting, it's build crafting. That's a homage to Minecraft. Yeah, with a new armor mod framework this fall. I think we're going to learn a bunch about what making a viable build in Destiny requires. You are going to surprise us with crazy creative things we've never seen once this is live. We're looking forward to it. Then it goes on to Prime Engrams. We're doing some minor housekeeping on Prime Engrams. They begin dropping once you hit 900, and you will accumulate changes for them as you make your way from 750 to 900. That's going to be the soft cap. We've increased the number of prime engrams you can earn in a given week and to rebalance the value of each one to account for the increases in value. Then it goes on about the drop-ins. As far as contributing to your power level, world drops often feel like a waste. Yeah, that many people get get powerful engrams and it turns out to be junk, so they constantly wasting them, and they want to change all of that. Basically, to get away from that, we've made some changes that allow these drops to help players progress beyond the soft cap. World drops in Shadowkeep will have a chance to drop at a player's current power level. Here's an example. A player has an overall power level of 902. Gloves are the lowest slot, 906, and a player might open a legendary engram and receive the 912 gloves is an increase of 6 power. Yeah, at the moment, they keep on these powerful engrams, and that has been these prime engrams has been dropping at alarming rates, so they want to reduce that down by half, which I totally welcome that aspect, because it gives people time to slow down and to take the time of leveling up, so they can also at the same time go play other games and to do catch up. But on a round of Fortnite, Overwatch and Call of Duty and Borderlands and the Borderlands 3 will be around the corner, so people want to play them instead of having to do the Argus level grind, so they can come back to that and continue the grinding that. Yeah, which is a refreshing change, I do admit with that. Then it rushed on to part 2, preparing for new light. One of the essential parts of new light is crushing the barriers between friends. Today, one of those barriers is the power level. To players, power level can mean we have a different goals, so we don't play together. New characters starting at 10 power would to naturally feel that they had to go play all of this other content, and in many hours many hours. It sounds like Commandant Lassard from Police Academy. I remember that very well when Commandant Lassard said to Kerry Mahoney, many as a bit of an over exaggeration. That used to crack me up. Nice touch, Luke. Congratulations. And yeah, hours you can play with a friend who recommended the game to you. Yeah, sorry, I can't get over there many bit of that. That does not sounds very sweet. It's like telling someone to play a MOBA and then saying we'll play with you in 100 hours when you learn to last hit. This is what my friend said to me. Do I have to be bad friends? As I'm writing this, I'm starting to wonder, oh Luke, that's not what we want in New Lighton. Yeah, we want to get new players and veterans gliding quickly. After Black Armory, we've made the deliberate choice to try to do this with each season. Both Season of the Drifter and Season of Opulence had bounties to boost up players' power levels, with New Light and Shadowkeep being bigger moments of collision. We continue that philosophy but optimizing the mechanics to fit the moment. We're setting the power this fall to 750 for both returning and new players. Wow, that's a major leap. We want you to be all together when Shadowkeep opens. Here's what this means. Every single item in the game is being raised to a power floor of 750 when Shadowkeep and New Light launch. Every item in your inventory and vault is going to automatically jump up to 750. It's like a free global burst of infusion for all players. Which means that right now you should stop spending currency to infuse gear sets to that C tier of weapons that you're keeping around until the patch notes. Just in case they are going to be good after the changes. There are many bosses coming, and it's very tempting to spoil a bunch of them, but I said this wasn't going to be the patch notes. Yeah, but every time they come up with these patch notes and everybody cringe and thinking, oh great, here we go again, they're gonna nerf another exotic weapon and la-di-da-di-da, and they're gonna make shards of Galanor even more worse than they already are because of the nerfing issue. Yeah, so look, where did it very massively in order to calm fears and frustration within the community. Part 3. Power, more problems. More power, more problems. Yeah, there was a TV show from the 1990s called Home Improvement. Tim, the two-man tailor, was always obsessed with increasing more power to electronics and all that lot. So yeah, it was more like infinity to from infinity to beyond, that type of thing. Yeah. Let's get back on track. we originally had this as Mo instead of Mo. Yeah, yeah, it was a famous 97 called Mo Money, Mo Problems. There was a film called Mo Money, which is highly recommended, which is a very funny film with Damon Wayans. Yeah, it was very, very funny film. You should go watch it. Yeah, it's a nice homage there. Luke is full of pop cultural references so far. Good one. Instead more. But I changed it upon the sad realization that there is an entire generation of players who missed out on the Biggie Puffy Maze in the Bad Boy era. Yes, it's kind of weird that I changed this and left the Highlander reference in, especially when neither is T. I'm the first to say it. Raising the power of all players globally is indicative of a greater problem. It's real weird that some will build up New Light for the first time and immediately be a 750. Yeah, there was concerns saying when I boot up New Light, does that mean to say I have to go through all the Igorous grind, like go through the Red War campaign, I go through all the Curse of Osiris and Warmind campaigns, and to go through the Forsaken campaigns in order to hit the power level 750. They made it easy for people to have that jump to be 750 upon Shadowkeep. Yeah, but which is going to be interesting to say the least. But the capital P power level in Destiny, or Light as we call the D1, has been asked to do a lot over the years. For a time in Destiny 1, it was one of the only things players had to pursue in Destiny 1. Power / light means something in terms of achievement, but that badge of honor has its problems. Forever 29 via raids, etc, etc. Yeah, many of us had that very problems outside raids, nightfalls and trials of Osiris, which they go to activities in order to increase the region, increase the power leveling. And if you didn't do that, you was still at that soft cap level, which was very hard to gain momentum. And which was they did improve that when the Archon's Forge come in and the Court of Oryx, which guarantee a higher ghost and a higher class item to increase your light level, and likewise with the Iron Banner, which was also a go-to event where people used to get light level jumps and that. I remember going through those frustrations myself. Yeah, it was very good to reference this. Yeah, excuse me. Destiny 1 put power light level over the player's head and drove players to raid and raise it. Over time, we give players other paths to raising their light / power. Nightfall, Iron Banner, yeah, which has touched on that. We took light off the nameplate and made it 3 digits in the Taken King, trying to turn light into something more like a 3-digit item level, but without the stat budgeting assigned to it, where the stats dictate true character power. At Destiny 2 launch, we shortened the power climb over, simplified the game, made it too easy, which to many people find it was not a challenge of gaining level. Things did drop at an alarming rate, and it's got way out of hand. So Bungie had to improve on that. Come by Forsaken, but the catalyst of it leaning towards the hardcore grind was Warmind. I think, yeah, it was Warmind that started it off, and it evolved into Forsaken, which improved that immensely, in which they're going to improve it even further in Shadowkeep to slow the progression down, so not having everybody at max level straight away in the first weeks. So they want to stagnate it out so they can get people invested and playing the game, which is a very good addition, which which many people will welcome it wholeheartedly. Continue. Focus on bringing new players in and hoping that players would pursue looks alone as the end game. Were we wrong? While we continued to build features like what would become Forsaken Triumphs. During that period, we also democratized power, so that players did not need to raid or play Nightfalls to reach max power. They could kind of just do any weekly Forsaken, introduce gold sources onto the map, and over the course of the year, the number of powerful sources will continue to increase. Sea power has a lot to do with the amount of damage players can both deal and receive. In fact, it's the biggest factor in it. It's also been the thing to pursue. Our gameplay specialists, the roles were the dedicated Destiny players, come in and participate in long form playtesting with their imported from home character. Frequently point out that they can't engage with a number of parts of the game till they've completed the power climb. Over the years, we've made the power climb shorter and shorter. We've made it easier and easier to reach the max power. We've also introduced things like triumphs and titles and collections to provide additional stuff to do as the prestige of power wand. They want to follow the exact same models as World of Warcraft and Neverwinter, which after when you reach that new power level, then you start earning the power full gear like they do in Neverwinter, which was rank 70. When you reach level 70, then you go into prestige. When you go into prestige, you start getting prestige legendaries and etc. etc. It's a bit like Anthem. when people completed the heroic difficulty, they got into Grandmaster 1, Grandmaster 2, Grandmaster 3. When they do, they start earning all the higher tier levels of prestige. And likewise with Neverwinter and so many other games, that does it exactly well. So Luke wanted to follow the examples of those games and to improve that immensely. In Shadowkeep, we're trying something a little different. First, we're introducing seasonal artifacts and thematic to each season. As the artifact levels up, it can do a few things. The first, it becomes a source of seasonal artifact mods, unique mods that can be equipped only during the artifact season. These mods may be brand new experiment mods or power mods with reduced energy cost, enabling players and us to experiment further in the build crafting space. Yeah, they want to reintroduce the artifacts, which was fairly similar to the artifacts in Destiny 1, which came with the Taken King, which you have to get from Eris Morn and the Court of Oryx. But they also introduced them with the Rise of Iron, called the Artifacts of the Iron Lords, which you had to do the challenges for both Lords Saladin and Tira Khan. After when you completed that, each week you get one of the artifacts of Iron Lords, like Memory of Sciori, Memory of Fairwinds, Memory of Radagast, and Memory of Yoda, and I think there was a Memory of Fairwinter. And each one you get, you have to go to that statue. For instance, you get the Memory of Sciori, you go up to the statue of Sciori in the Iron Temple, then you power up that, ready to use, and it did also contribute to the light level advantage at the time. So they want to bring in the similar system, but do it differently, like seasonal type of thing, which is a good introduction in that. Second, the seasonal artifacts can award players bonus, but that bonus is not applied to gear, nor does it increase the power of future drops. But instead of all of your characters, this means to give players who can't or don't want to play pinnacle activities a seasonal path to power. Excuse me. This is where even if a player doesn't play the Raid, Iron Banner, or the Redacted, I don't know what that means, is remain a mystery. They can still have a higher power value for the season, leveling the artifact to raise your power. It is meant to be seasonal character growth. Each season we'll have new artifacts with mods that changes how you play, and the power bonus will reset. In addition to curating the list of powerful resources. Shadowkeep will also introduce pinnacle powerful resources. These sources are the only way to earn gear drops above the power 950 in Season 8. Here is the thinking. Pinnacle reward sites can award players power above 950. This is a way of reclaiming a bit of the character power prestige that the initial Destiny 1 power climb created. If you expect a player and see their gear is 960, you know they've done a bunch of pinnacle activities. It's worth mentioning that as you raise your power via pinnacle activities, other powerful reward sites will continue to drop powerful side grades. All of this said, power in Destiny 2 is still imperfect. We're making some adjustments to it this year for Shadowkeep, things like seasonal power bonuses and pinnacle activities awarding pinnacle power, but when we look to the future we feel like the power system may benefit from rework further down the road. There's real potential in creating more agency for players figuring out if power should be prestigious or not, and taking on the challenge of how to keep players relatively close together season after season, while still allowing them to make progress. Here's something I missed from Destiny 1. Filling bars on my items and using materials to level items, even though I ended up with more Ascendant and Radiant materials than I ever could have needed. The existence of these materials mean to hunt for power rolls could go on longer. I think wanting and needing materials is a good thing, as long as you know what you can do to go pursue that material. I'm glad that we are getting a little more of that back into Destiny with Shadowkeep. Need masterwork cause? Well, we didn't have a very good answer for that. Much of the year, lesson learned. Stay tuned to Bungie.net for the third installment of the Director's Cut. It is focused on the action part of the MMO action. I think combat and PvP, with a bonus section of an evolving world coming to Destiny this fall. See you soon, Luke Smith. What I got learnt about here is, he had an addressed a common issue with the whole thing, like people were having way too much resources, they didn't know what to do with them, so they were constantly wasting them. And in Destiny 1, too many people, they did not like being on the moon or in the Cosmodrome farming spin metal or helium filaments and worm spar on the Dreadnought, and the one on Nessa's Spirit Bloom, which which people did not know what to do with them because most of the materials she couldn't use to infuse. So what you ended up had to do is to go into the vendors like the Art Jalal, the Future Walker, or Lakshmi, not Future War, Dead Orbit, Lakshmi, which is the Future War cult, and the Arc Jet. Yeah, I mentioned Art Jalal. Executor Hideo, the New Monarchy vendor, which you can trade in loads of planetary resources for ranking up packages and that, which many people were finding it a chore to get so many resources, and most of them you didn't know what to do. And when it comes to things like Hardium flakes, always one thing you could do with Hardium flakes is go to Lord Schatz to trade them into for all 3 legendary swords, which can send them up to the exotic versions of. And other than that, yeah, it became a time consuming. So what Luke said in this issue is that he wants to make them more resourceful and useful for when people could infuse certain gear and that, so they're not sitting on loads and loads of resources and that which they don't have nothing to do, which has become a huge problem in Destiny 2 at the moment. There's quite a lot of players that sit on loads and loads of resources and they quite frankly did not know what to do with them, and etc etc. Yeah, you could go to DDZ and etc to trade them in for ranking up packages, but they don't guarantee to drop at the current power level you are. Then that comes to the whole overarching issue. Yeah, it's been an interesting insight. The director's cut part 2 here. Yeah, it was so much to pack and to digest for a read through. Yeah, some of the things he touched on with the whole issue about people getting all bitchy and angry and flustered about the whole Eververse system and the whole issue about microtransactions and all that lot. And it was to make it bluntly clear, come Shadow keep coming forward, the Eververse store is not going to go away soon. It would be like the Atom Store in Fallout 76, that's going to not go away soon. And the store in Anthem, which that is not also going to go away soon. So, yeah, it's a thing that people are going to end up having to get used to, I'm afraid. Until regulations of that come into force. Yeah, apart from that, yeah, the takeaways about this was whole wanting that prestige vibe of MMOs, which you have to be certain power level instead of getting power engrams and prime engrams way too early as your level progresses and etc etc. They want to make it more tougher when you reach 900 the soft cap, and they want to go into that levels of prestige. Yeah, and yeah, it's been an interesting read through. I know some of these did feel like that was going on and on and on and on. Like I said, it could be done very short, like do a short version of, like, in a This Week at Bungie slash TWAB, and go and do a full version of. If you want to read the in full, then you can click on the link. Then it would have made it common sense, so people can sit there and read at their own leisure, to soak in, to take what they think. Yeah, Luke said there's going to be a part 3. To God, the third part isn't going to be longer. I won't hold it up on Luke. He likes to go way too much into depth, which feels like a autobiography on the biography channel. And when there has an extract of the biography in the newspapers, and if you want to read the full book, you have to go purchase the book in full to read it. Yeah, it's been an interesting read, and see what you think. If you like it, there's some of the takeaways that I did not like it, please let me know in the description, in the comment section below. And yeah, and likewise, as usual, my social media links will be also provided in the description bar below. And don't forget to rate, share, and subscribe if you have got a Twitter account. To please share it onto your Twitter handles, and it's been something new and different for me to do. So kind of like in the past, I used to do it the old school, like put a camera there, and there was me talking about it, is going like this, and it did not look right. So many people did commented that to me so many times. So I said they would like to see it on the screen as I read it with them. And yeah, they basically called that out on that, to which this time around they got a nice gaming rig with NVIDIA technology, so I could do it a lot better, so for all you viewers to see. Yeah, yeah. I have a primary channel that will be in the description bar below, which I do things like movies, retrospectives, and all sorts of that. Yeah, go here, check it out, and until then, this is me, Frankie Croft Smales. Thank you for watching. Wherever you are in the world, stay safe, very well, and may the force be with you. And in more words of Stanley, Excelsior, and have a great morning, evening, afternoon, and night, wherever you are. And I see you starside.